Hello from Park City, everyone. I am still here at Sundance 2019, but you guys know I do not like to miss an edition of box office predictions, so we're gonna do some right now, straight from Sundance. First though, we've got a ton of Fantasy Movie League shoutouts to give. I've got a list of 43 players right here for you. All 43 of these people got that perfect lineup. I am so impressed. I came absolutely nowhere close to scoring as high as these 43 individuals because, yet again, I committed a Fantasy Movie League sin and I didn't repopulate my lineup for the actual start time for the weekend, so I did not score very well. Thankfully, I didn't drop too far down in the ranks, but you know, it's Sundance. Things are crazy, so I'm going to blame it on that. And I'm also going to blame Sundance on my poor performance with my top 5 this weekend. I learned this lesson the hard way this time around, and it is do not take Monday data to try to create your weekend box office predictions. And it was pretty off this time around. Of course, we had Glass topping the charts again, and it took a bigger spill than what I expected, 53.2%, and it made another 18.9 million. Number 2 actually went to the upside, which continued to hold strong, dropping a mere 20.4% and making another 11.9 million. Then the 3 spot went to Aquaman, which also had a fantastic hold. It dipped 28.6%, making another $7.3 million. Then it was The Kid Who Would Be King, opening up at number 4 with a pretty disappointing $7.2 million start. And then finally, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse closed out that top 5 with another $6.1 million. Again, I am still in Park City for Sundance, so this is going to be, I guess, an abbreviated version of my box office predictions, but I wanted to wait this time around, wait to record and figure out exactly how I was going to line everything up so I had the most amount of data to work with. Jumping into it now with my number 5 pick, I do think this is going to be a little bit of a tough call this weekend. We're going to see low numbers all around, and I think for 4 and 5 in particular, we're going to see some numbers that are very close to each other. Given the weak start for The Kid Who Would Be King, I am going to predict that this one slips out of the top 5 this weekend, even though admittedly it does have a slight chance of holding on. The first one I'm looking at, though, is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Clearly, it has not had very many big drops recently, but the thing is, I'm going to give this spot to Green Book because apparently Green Book is getting more theaters this weekend, and given the fact that Spider-Verse and Green Book were fairly close on the charts last weekend, I've got to give the edge to Green Book, so I'm putting Green Book at number 5, and I'm giving it another $4 million this weekend. Now moving on to my number 4 pick, that is where I have Aquaman. You're going to hear this a lot this video, but this is Super Bowl weekend, and given the fact that it is the big game this weekend, we're going to see some bigger drops, some lower numbers all around, and when it comes to Aquaman, it's been performing so well, and that's why I have a very hard time seeing it drop more than 40% even with the Super Bowl this weekend. So if I keep that percent change right at 40%, we're talking about another $4.5 million for Aquaman this weekend. Now it's on to my number 3 spot, and that is where I have the weekend's new wide release. It's Miss Bala. Early projections for this one put it in the $6 to $10 million range, and I'm kind of inclined to go on the lower end of that because Super Bowl weekend, of course, and also I haven't really heard all that much buzz for the movie, so I think I'm going to settle on a $7 million opening weekend for Miss Bala, putting it in the 3 spot. Now moving on to my number 2 pick, that is where I'm keeping the movie The Upside. Clearly, this one has enjoyed a very strong run. The highest percent change it's seen thus far is a mere 26.3%, and I don't think it's going to change all that much right now, especially with no new direct competition entering the race this weekend. I'm going to bring that 26.3% change up to, let's say, 30%, and if that's how much the movie winds up losing this weekend, it's still taking that 2 spot with another $8 million. Now, of course, that brings us to our number 1 spot, and obviously, it's Glass again. With this one right now, I'm looking at Split's percent change trend, and if that is any indication, we're gonna see the Glass drop come up a little bit. So with Split in weekend 2, it dropped a mere 35.9%. Weekend 3, that came up to 43.8%. The thing is, at this point in its run, Glass has a little less to lose than what Split was working with at this point, so I think I'm gonna settle on bringing last weekend's 53% drop up to maybe just 55%, and if that's the hit that Glass winds up taking this time around, we're looking at another $8.5 million for the movie. Let's roll right into that recap now. I've got Glass topping the charts with $8.5 million, then it is The Upside at number 2 with $8 million even, Miss Bala opening up at number 3 with $7 million, Aquaman taking the 4th spot with $4.5 million, and then finally Green Book closing out my top 5 with $4 million. Those are my predictions, but you know the drill. Hit that comment section below, share your top 5 picks right there, and then don't do what I did last weekend. Go over to Fantasy Movie League and lock your lineup. I'm going to do that immediately after publishing this video, and before we close the video out, I do have a group of Patreon shoutouts to give, and it's a special group. These are some of my top tier members, some of the guys that I know the best through our G chats. Their support means the world to me, and they are Evan, Michael, Caleb, Jack, Luke, and Kavi. I hope you guys know how thankful I am that you are still here sticking with the campaign and supporting this channel, keeping it up and running. It means the world to me, and so does getting the opportunity to continue to chat with you guys, continue to get to know you guys, because I really do enjoy the G-Chat tier of the Patreon campaign, so thanks so much for being on it. A huge thank you to everybody out there for watching this video. That is the end of this one, but keep an eye out for more, because I might have a little something coming from Sundance 2019 for you guys real soon.